What is going on, Pats Nation? It feels good. Feels good. I haven't let all the emotions hit me yet, but yeah, you know what? A lot of you guys are gonna come in, probably be upset. Why aren't we tanking? And we'll talk about that. But for the love of God, you just beat the in-division rival Buffalo Bills, the kings of the AFC East, the team that comes in every single week and bends you over and spanks you until you can't feel your bottom anymore, essentially. And I'm just so happy that I can walk away and say this team showed promise, this team showed fight, this team showed drive. Today, this team showed me really everything that I've been asking for, some of which not this season, some of which I've been asking for a couple of years now. But a lot of the question marks we had this year, they finally were able to put to rest. And at the end of the day, what matters most is how they're going to be able to do every single week from now on, right? Is this going to string together a Patriots team that is competitive and a Patriots team that we can actually rely on? Or is this going to be a one-hit wonder? And that's something that we're not going to see for the next, well, at least until next week. And we can kind of go from there and see how this progresses. But the Patriots just won a game in which nobody, including myself, thought that we were going to be able to win. At least a game that we didn't even think was going to be a close game. Throw away the fact that we didn't even think we were going to win this. I would have been happy if we lost, but at least it was close. The Patriots won this game, and honestly, it wasn't close. It wasn't close up until the end, unfortunately. But for the most part, the New England Patriots had 2-possession leads up until the end. And you just can't ask for too much more. Obviously, there was a lot of good, but there obviously was a lot of bad too. Some big question marks on guys who couldn't tackle, more so defensively. Tackling, major problem today, and it's been a major problem all season long. But today, it was almost the reason we lost the game. I thought penalties are another area that this team still needs to figure out. There were a lot of costly and timely penalties. I thought they cut those down significantly on the offense. But we still had a lot of penalties because it seemed like the defense started picking up a lot of those penalties too. And then some question marks still there penalty-wise along the Patriots offense. I think if the Patriots can play the rest of the season how they played today, but also start minimalizing those penalties and start learning how to tackle, it's not that hard. Look, I will show you, okay? Look, I will get up myself. Make sure I don't hit anything. Shit. I will get up right now and show you myself. All right, look. So if I'm right here, right? If I'm right here, I'm going to drive into the ground and tackle. You want leverage, right? That's what you want. You want leverage. That's why you don't want to tackle high. You tackle high, you're going to get stiff arm. Guys are going to shake you off. You want to get down, low to the ground in order to get that leverage. But also, it just seemed like guys not only weren't doing that, they were tackling high. They weren't getting low enough to have any leverage, but they also just had no situational awareness. I mean, Jack Jones on that one play, I forget who the Bills receiver was, but there was one point where Jack Jones looks to the side, goes out of bounds, does a 360. I didn't know what that was. So I thought tackling today was extremely bad, and that needs to get figured out. And if the Patriots are listening, or their hiring staff, whatever is listening, yes, I am available to come to Boston. I'm available to come and talk to the guys. I'm willing to do it. And talk to them about how to tackle, okay? You can show them my video and it might help, but I think the best idea is for me to come there and show them how to do it, okay? Maybe I'll get a couple of autographs, but that's not the point, okay? I am willing to come to Boston. But, guys, how are we feeling today? We're going to get into the stat review here shortly. As you guys can see, it is just me today. So unfortunately, Rob is not going to be on. He is looking for some houses. He's kind of house hunting today. So he shoot me a text like, hey, just want to let you know I'm not going to be able to come on. So just wanted to let you guys know about that one. But I appreciate everybody for being in the chat already. Neil Ray, what's going on, buddy? Dragon Rider, how's it going, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you back. Keaton Talk Sports, how you doing? AC in the chat. Gregory, Spider Nate, Caleb, Oscar, Pats fan, Angel. Guys, I appreciate all of you for being here. But let's break this down here. So, because this is just me, I really do want today to maybe be a little bit more laid back. By the way, just want to say real quick, for those who were asking, if you're not in the Discord chat, make sure you do join the Discord chat. This is where I kind of interact and let you guys know about everything going on with the channel, going on with the team. We all just kind of talk about football. But I do want to let you guys know the reason we didn't do today's kind of watch party was unfortunately because I have been so under the weather this week. Just haven't been feeling great, but the last couple of days just been feeling insanely nauseous. So between Bleacher and between this, I was like, I might be pushing my luck already. But man, do I wish I pushed through, whether I threw up on stream or not, because what a game. But I definitely want to answer some questions today. I want that to be a big portion of today's stream, other than just the breakdown, because I feel like I haven't been able to sit down and just talk with you guys about how you guys are feeling and some of your thoughts and process of what this game was. If you are a Patreon member, like always, if you do want to be a Patreon member, that is a link in the description box below. You guys can join and become a Patreon member. But if you are a Patreon member and you would like to join today's stream to come on, share your thoughts and talk about this game with me, then guys, that link is on Patreon right now. So go ahead, go to Patreon, click that link, and it'll direct you right here to come talk some Patriots and Bills football if you would like. But let's break this down over. Let me pull up the graphic here for us to switch to. Ooh, we got too many graphics here. There we go. It's going to look stupid for a second, but I promise, well worth it. Switch that. Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome back to Stats Review, baby, where we break down all of these statistics in this game. I know it looks a little stupid with just me in the chat and not Rob down here with me, but that's okay. Let me share my screen here with you guys real quick. All right, here we go. You guys let me know. Make sure that looks all good for you guys. If anything seems off or slow or just quite honestly not showing up for you, make sure you guys let me know in the chat and I will make sure to fix that. Let's see. Is that coming through on everybody else's end? You guys let me know. I do see we are running a little slow here all of a sudden. So we might just take off the screen share and just break it down in its entirety. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to stop sharing this now. And we're just going to break it down in general because it looks like that might be slowing us down a tad. So from what I see on the stream, it looks like we're slowing down from the screen share. So let's just stop that, and we'll just talk about the statistics off of the top of my head. All right. Get back here. Bring this baby back up. Alrighty. So, Mac Jones, I think, played an absolutely stellar game today. Mac Jones finished today being 25 of 30, missing a total of only 5 passes all game long. 272 yards, averaging 9.1 yards on average, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, was sacked 1 time, and put up a passer rating of 126.7. To put that into perspective, I believe a perfect passer rating is like 132 point something. So Mac Jones, very, very close to putting up a perfect game statistically. And it looks like we're running a little bit slow on our end. I appreciate you, Gerard, for letting me know. It looks like we're coming in. It's 158. It was one of those. I don't know why I got 132 then. Let me see if I can real quick fix fix this for you. All right, 1 second, guys. Come with a classic, they come around your slave, just say it's a sleeper. The ears are real, the petty is real. I drop my extra feature. Deposit the money to Brenda Leticia, or Linda Felicia. She gave me the class, I believe you for her voice, you know I'm a pleaser. 42 millimeter, was made in Geneva. Yeah, I probably should go to your Shiva. We went to Ibiza. Yeah, I probably should go live with Yeezy. I need me some Jesus. As soon as I swipe, touch my fans, we wouldn't believe it. I got stands on my mind, got some M's. Got a lot of M's on my mind, more than friends. Yeah, I keep my friends on my mind, I'm in love. I'm in love with 2 girls on my team, many teams. That's why I got 10 on my mind, I got M's. Got a lot of M's on my mind, my friends. Yeah, I keep my friends on my mind, to the pen. I ain't used to kids, you know who I am. Shit so around on me, bitch. You know what that is, you know the secret. Trying to bitch me, know about people. I can't explain with this boys, you people. If I get some rats on the bed, you keep it, this shit getting deeper. By the dig in my shop, won't be out, won't hit the fence. My shark in the water, you show me what to lose it. I hit the thing by the Mars, she miss it. I grab my dish, she look up and I kiss it. I'm not a girl, but I fit the description. I like the post, so I keep the prescription. We walk around with them bands, I wish this gun to go jail, and I'm going ain't listen. I'm dropping hit after hit, I'm with chillin', but I'm sitting here, I took on my children. She get a business, the business, the hustle. I'm from around the time, it's fresh. I call them, they off my heart, if they making me hard. I don't even burn it, I'm stuck from the bottom, I hustle from around. This is better now for you guys. You guys let me know. If it gets too laggy, we'll have to kind of call it today and yeah, just kind of put it there. But I did think that Mac Jones played an excellent game today. Like I said, being 25 for 30, only missing 5 passes today. There was something else that I really did. You said voice is off. Are we good now? You guys let me know. Not too sure what's going on all of a sudden. You're good? You hear it? Good, good, good. Perfect. All right. So, like I said, I thought Mac Jones was the big reason that the Patriots offense took a step forward. But what does that mean? That all starts with the Patriots offensive line at the end of the day. Something that I've been banging, and I mean absolutely banging the table about, is for this offensive line to just do better, be better in all phases, whether that's running the ball, whether that's passing the ball. I don't care what it is. This team just absolutely has, and I mean absolutely has to be better up front. And today they were. The Patriots O-line allowed just a 21.7 overall pressure rate, and they had a 48% success rate on the ground. Really, all season long, that's been flip-flopped. The Patriots usually are allowing, 49% pressure rate along their offensive line, and then only having about like a 20% success rate on the ground. Today, they totally, completely switched that narrative, and they look like a much better team because of it. At the end of the day, is Mac Jones going to evolve this offense? Is he going to make this offense look better than it is? No, and I still don't think he will. But at the end of the day, Mac Jones is more than a feasible quarterback. I think he is realistically just outside like a top 10. I think he's somewhere between like the 12th to 15th best quarterback if he can just have a adequate offensive line like he did today. And today he did show us that. Like I said, 0 interceptions, great decisions, made key plays in clutch moments when they needed them. And this is just the second time in his entire career that he was able to come back and lead the Patriots to a game-winning drive. A lot of question marks about his ability to do so, and today he did so. And I know that the Buffalo Bills defense is obviously shaken up. They didn't have Ed Oliver. They didn't have Matt Milano. They didn't have Trey White. But Mac Jones' ability to still go up against a very good defense in a key pivotal moment and win this game, I think that shut down a lot of haters and shut down a lot of questions. Like I said, though, if you guys are a Patreon member, make sure you do come on in and join us for today's stream. I thought the Patriots' offensive opening drive looked good, and I was really concerned with, is this going to be a drive that is this going to be an offensive drive that looks good to open the game, but then doesn't look good for the remainder of the game. To me, that was my biggest concern. But what they did with that offensive opening drive is exactly what the rest of this game looked like. The Patriots implemented motion. They had misdirection. They had quick passes. Mac Jones was even able to pick up a couple first downs with his legs. But my favorite part about him running the ball was that he didn't just run the ball in inappropriate moments. He ran the ball when he had no other options. He ran the ball when he had to. He ran the ball in those key pivotal moments. TD Fins Talk admin, well done, bro. Hey, I appreciate it. I know we helped out you Miami Dolphins fans, so be happy about that one, guys. Be happy about that one if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. I better get love from TD tomorrow, or I swear I'm done. But I thought that Mac Jones did run the ball at appropriate moments, which, again, helped keep this offense alive. I thought the Patriots ran the ball well, and even if we look at the stats for the Patriots in terms of running the ball, it really wasn't anything crazy. Ramondre Stevenson, 9 carries, 34 total yards, 3.8 yards on average. Ezekiel Elliott, 11 carries, 31 total yards, 2.8 yards on average. The team finished today with 24 total carries on the ground with 96 total yards, averaging 4 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, and a long run of 20 yards. That long run, by the way, was that one pass to Demario Douglas. That one run, rather, to Demario Douglas. So that kind of, without that big Demario Douglas play, you take that back, that's about 76 total yards between Ramondre Stevenson, Ezekiel Elliott, and Mac Jones. So, again, these backs didn't necessarily have a great game or a crazy game, but I thought that they ran the ball well when they needed to in key pivotal moments. But they also ran the ball well in situations that had this Patriots offense having to convert on like 3rd and short, or even being in 4th and short situations, rather than being in like 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 12 because of stupid penalties and their inability to run the ball. I think that if the Patriots can keep evolving with this rushing attack, then it's going to open up this offense even more. Because yes, Mac Jones still did have to throw 30 total passes today. If you can run the ball a little bit better, you're kind of taking that a little bit more out of his hands. But I think because they were able to run the ball in key pivotal moments better than we've seen all season long, they were able to become a less one-dimensional offense, right? You kind of had to keep the defense guessing with, what is this team going to do? They're going to run the ball, they're going to pass the ball, different things that they were going to be able to do. And that misdirection and that motion really helped confuse the Buffalo Bills defense, which is how this offense opened up significantly. It wasn't so predictable, which I feel like is exactly what it's been so far through 6 weeks. And we saw some implements of this last week against the Raiders, but it's not something that they did consistent enough to end up winning that game. And I just realized I'm totally out of water. But kind of moving on here to the receiving side of things, I thought that Kendrick Bourne played another great game today. And realistically, he's not a wide receiver 1, and he shouldn't be a wide receiver 1, and he is no team's wide receiver 1, but he's our wide receiver 1 because we don't have a true wide receiver 1. So with that being said, he's the most talented guy on your roster. He has a really good rapport with your quarterback, probably the best rapport and trust connection than any other receiver on this team. So you have to put him in a position to succeed. And I thought that today the Pats really did that, just like they did last week, as he leads the Patriots in targets, he leads the Patriots in receptions, and he leads the Patriots in yards. So 7 targets, 6 receptions, 63 total yards, 10.5 yards on average, and 1 touchdown with a long catch of 33 yards for Kendrick Bourne. I thought he operated very well in all phases of the field, short to intermediate and deep, but it was what he was able to do with that yak yard ability, just like I said last week. And I was hoping that the Patriots were going to continue to do these types of things with him, and that's exactly what they did. Demario Douglas with the best game so far of his Patriots career. 6 targets, 4 receptions, 54 total yards, 13.5 yards on average, 0 touchdowns with a long catch of 19 yards. Thought he also showed up in those key pivotal moments, one of which was a big reception on that game-winning drive. Pharaoh Brown is a guy that I think you got to keep feeding the ball to. And I'm not saying he's a number 1 tight end, but you got to find ways to feed him the ball. And I was wondering today, I wonder if the Patriots would try to make somebody like Mike Gesicki or Hunter Henry a little bit more expendable if Pharaoh Brown's going to continue to go off this well. A guy that's able to run block, but a guy that obviously, if you get the ball in his hands, is going to be able to do some magical things. So Pharaoh Brown here, 2 receptions, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 51 total yards, 25 yards on average, and 0 touchdowns. He helped the Patriots move the chains pretty significantly. And I thought that Ramondre Stevenson today got very involved in the receiving game. 6 targets, 6 receptions, 51 total yards, averaging 8.5 yards per reception, and a long catch of 34 total yards. Come back here to you guys, though. I do not like how bad we are lagging. And I am very tempted to try to switch up the camera to just this. Let me see. It's going to look like complete butt, but it's better than what we're running with right now. All right. There we go. If it's better, it's better. If it's better, it's better. If we can be a little bit more consistent with the mic, with the camera, then that's all we need at the end of the day. That is all we need at the end of the day, is we can just look a little bit better and not so laggy. So you guys let me know how that looks. And if it looks absolutely no different, then I'm just going to switch back to the other camera. Some technical difficulties that we're trying to figure out live. And when you only have one person talking, it gets a little bit more difficult. But I also thought, from if we kind of look over from a defensive standpoint, pull up those stats here. I thought from a defensive standpoint, the Patriots did a adequate job. I thought they had played a pretty good game. Obviously, that first pass by Josh Allen being intercepted is exactly the type of football game you want to play in order to win. They obviously had a total of, I believe, 3 turnovers because they had Josh Allen fumble and they lost it. And then they had, Terrell Bernard fumble. Or excuse me, no, he didn't fumble, actually. I don't know why they have him listed as that. But 2 total turnovers, both on Josh Allen. You knew you had to come down with at least one of those if you wanted any shot at winning this game. And they did. And they came down with both of those turnovers. But Josh Allen, 41 total passes, 27 total attempts for 265 yards, 6.5 yards on average, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, took 1 sack, and had a passer rating of 90. If you would have told me at the end of this game that Mac Jones was going to play a better game than Josh Allen and it wasn't even going to be close, I would have told you that you're absolutely insane. But that's exactly what happened today. I thought that the Patriots, for the most part, were able to shut down that Buffalo Bills rushing attack. I just thought that they had some big plays in key moments, more specifically James Cook. 13 carries, 56 total yards, 4.3 yards on average, 0 touchdowns, and a long run of 20 total yards. Josh Allen obviously ran the ball a little bit today, as you probably could have assumed. 7 total carries, 17 total yards, 2.4 yards on average, and 1 touchdown. And then Latavius Murray, 4 total carries, 8 yards, just 2 yards per carry in general, and 0 touchdowns. They finished today on the ground with 24 total carries for 81 total yards, 3.4 yards on average, and 1 touchdown. I thought Latavius Murray, that biggest play that he had today, which I believe was a reception, was because I want to say Jack Jones was not able, again, to get that leverage. My biggest gripe on this defense, and they wouldn't have looked as bad today if this wasn't a factor, was their inability to just tackle. If you're able to tackle, then this team looks a lot better defensively, and this game is not even significantly as close as it was at the end of this game. The biggest concern that I think I have for this Patriots defense going forward is their ability to stop tight ends. This is the second week in a row against a rookie tight end in which they were not able to stop them. Last week against the Raiders with Michael Mayer, obviously he put up the best statistical game of his NFL career in the first drive for the Raiders. This week, Dalton Kincaid leads the Buffalo Bills in receiving yards and in receptions, targeted 8 times with 8 receptions for 75 total yards, 9.4 yards on average. But a compliment, a bright spot for this Patriots team is that they were able to figure out how to stop Stephon Diggs, and that was essentially putting 2-3 defenders on top of him and just shutting him down. But they also kind of rotated the cornerback that was on him. It was between Jack Jones and J.C. Jackson. Now, it was mainly J.C. Jackson, but we did see some times where they did get Jack Jones on Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs finished today with 12 targets for 6 receptions for 58 total yards and 9.7 yards per reception and 1 touchdown. A lot of those numbers obviously coming in garbage time, which is what led to this game being closer than it was. It was that not game-winning drive, but that drive late in the fourth quarter for the Buffalo Bills to essentially get out in front of the Patriots and actually make this a game. But other than that, I didn't think Stephon Diggs did a whole lot. I thought James Cook, no pun intended, did cook the Patriots at times. 3 targets, 3 receptions, 46 total yards, averaging 15.3 yards per reception and 1 touchdown. And then the rest of those numbers are pretty much just garbage time numbers. Getting back here to some of my stats, I did think that Mac Jones today, kind of just to get back on him a little bit, I thought that he looked a lot more calm today. He looked confident. And my biggest thing for this team is going to be, what does this mean going forward, right? Is this team going to now be a team that takes this energy, takes this hype, takes this morale, and takes it on into the rest of the season? Because I thought that we saw a pumped up Mac Jones. We saw Mac Jones having fun. We saw him being calm, and we saw him trying to motivate his teammates when they were down and in key situations, trying to bring this team back together. We saw that fight. We saw that dog in him finally. We finally also saw a little bit of that leader mentality in Mac Jones, which is something that we have not seen really that much, but especially this season in his Patriots career. Obviously, at the end of the game, too, Mike Gesicki, Mac Jones, David Andrews, all hitting the gritty at the end. They're finally building that kind of morale that a team needs. And I think there was a lot of division in the locker room between players. And I think for everyone to kind of start getting on the same page and playing as a unit rather than playing as individuals is what's going to kind of separate how this team plays, the last couple of weeks versus how they play going forward. See what you guys are saying here. Hopefully the camera's looking a little bit better. If this is like way too much, we can try with the other one, but it looked like the other one was just lagging so much. So we just are just going to tune it down here with the computer quality, unfortunately. Maybe I could bring this back a little bit. I'm trying to stop that glare for you guys, but unfortunately that light is just killing us right now. Another kind of takeaway that I will say I had is that I thought the Patriots today also played complementary football. A big issue with this team was we would see them play really good on offense and then play terrible on defense, and then really good on defense and then go 3 and out offensively. Today, they played a great complementary football game. Like I said, they were able to put points up on the board within that first opening drive. It was only 3 points, but still they're able to put up some type of points offensively. And then right away, Jabril Peppers gets that defensive interception against Josh Allen. What do the Patriots do? They turn that interception into 7 points. If the defense can start forcing more turnovers and the Patriots can capitalize on those, this team is going to start getting in front. And that's been their issue all season long, has been their inability to get in front of their opponents, especially early on. You look at what they did today, because they were able to get out significantly in front of the Bills, that gave them a larger margin of error at the end of this game, which is why this turned into a game, but it's why the Patriots were able to win it, because that margin of error was so large that this game did not completely get away from them. That's something that I will say I do want to continue to see the Patriots do. Another thing that I will say too is I'm not going to get into my winners and losers completely yet, but I will say I did have to put Jack Jones as a loser. His first game back, I'm not going to gripe on him too much, and we'll see what those coverage numbers are either Monday or Tuesday. But Jack Jones allowed an extra 5-yard gain because he wasn't able to tackle, and this wasn't the only instance where he was not able to tackle. And then obviously a big roughing the penalty because he went too high. And you can say, the refs were a little bit too picky on that, and I wouldn't say that you were wrong. But still, if you are Jack Jones, you need to do better in terms of knowing how to tackle a quarterback, because you know that the refs are always going to favor a quarterback. And he definitely went too high on that play and kind of just let Josh Allen turn his football career into an acting career. Let me switch this up here real quick. But guys, I do want to quickly give a massive shout out to the sponsors over the channel over at BetUS, guys. As you already know, BetUS is going to be sponsoring the channel all season long. And quite literally, this channel could not be here without them, because I say it all the time and I will continue to say it until God blesses us and reverses the curse that is currently on this channel, because we are demonetized. And if it wasn't for BetUS, we wouldn't be able to be making all of the content that we do make on a week-to-week basis. So first off, the biggest thing that I do love about BetUS is the fact that they're available in every single state you're in. Unfortunately, with a lot of sports books nowadays, you kind of have to worry about, is it available in my state? Is it not available in my state? God, if I'm traveling, can I still bet on my favorite games? And yes, you can. Everywhere you go, you're going to be able to bet with BetUS, as they are a leading online betting platform and they offer a wide range of sports betting opportunities. Not only can you bet on the NFL, not only can you bet on college football, but you can also even bet on NFL futures, like who's going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to be a team that makes the playoffs, who's going to be teams that don't make the playoffs, who's going to win offensive coach of the year, defensive player of the year, all of that stuff. So much fun things for you guys to bet on, and they have great odds. The other thing that's great about them too is that once you guys do sign up with your email, which by the way, it takes 2 minutes max, you put in your name, first name, last name, phone number, email, and that's it. You are done and you're signing up for BetUS and able to play with them instantly. But once they do have your email, they'll actually email you about deals coming up so that you guys don't miss out on them. So deals for you guys to make some quick, easy cash, because they always have promos every single week for you guys to make some quick and easy cash at that also. The other great thing about them is not only are they a sports book, but they also have casinos, from blackjack to poker to all of that great stuff. If you say Patriots Global, I'm not really big on sports betting, that's okay. Go ahead and check out their casino games. Also, it is a great, great opportunity. And right now, because they are partnering with the channel, BetUS is offering a 125% sign-up bonus when you guys do put down 100 or more dollars. So if you put down $100, that would be 225 total dollars to play with. There's going to be a link in the description below. It's already there, and it's going to be pinned in the comment section below for you guys to check them out. Go ahead and sign up. Sign up for BetUS. See what all of the hype is about. And once you see all of the cool odds they have, you guys can always revert back to the opportunity of getting 125% sign-up bonus. But at the very least, sign up, check them out so that you guys can see all of the cool opportunities that you can bet with and all of the fun. But always remember to make sure you bet responsibly and make sure you are 21. And if you or anybody you know is having an issue, to hit me up personally or go and get some gambling help. But guys, I want to open up the discussion a little bit here for you guys. Some of these technical difficulties definitely threw off the stream today, so I do apologize for that, and we'll make sure that we do get that fixed for next time. Come back up on the screen. But let's bring up some questions, guys. What are we thinking? I want to know what you guys are thinking about this game. What are your thought processes going forward? I see a lot of people kind of talking about the refs. There's not one specific kind of question coming up about it, but it's just a lot of people saying that the refs were bad. I think the refs were, but it kind of was on both sides. I think they fared a little bit more towards Buffalo, but at the end of the day, they did make calls on both sides. As it gets toasty in here. In fact, let's see if maybe we can switch back to the other camera now and not die. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. What's going on with Kayshon Boutte? So, Bootie's in the doghouse. Boutte is absolutely in the doghouse, and I don't know what this means for him going forward. But what I will say is don't expect to see him much this season, if you see him at all. They decided to go with a first-round bust in Jalen Reagor over Kayshon Boutte. And what sucks to me is that I really do think that Kayshon Boutte did show promise week one. Like against the Philadelphia Eagles, he showed he was a rookie. And he showed that quite literally he probably shouldn't have as much playtime as he was. but it was his first game in the NFL. Okay. It was his first game in the NFL. He needs to adapt. He needs to adjust, just like every other rookie. It doesn't matter if he's a first round pick or he's a late round pick. He does still need to adjust. And I feel like he wasn't really given that opportunity to be able to adjust. And that's one gripe that I will do or will put against Belichick. But for him last week against the Raiders to post "free me" on his story after those inactives came out and realized he was inactive, that's not how you get on the field. But also, you're a rookie, okay? You did put yourself in a position to be where you are now. And that's one thing that I will say is that it is his fault that he is in the doghouse. And because of how they've been playing the last couple of weeks and they weren't really in a position to succeed anyway, I was like, well, we might as well see what you got in Keishawn Boutte. But it is his fault that he is in the doghouse. 2 times you are not adjusted. In the same week, you were not adjusted to college rules. And you have one instance where you're not able to drag both of your feet. Whatever, you learn from it. You have that in the back of your mind for the rest of the game. But on a key 4th down to win the game, you do the exact same thing. You put yourself in that position. So you can't put stuff on your story like "free me" and this, that, and the third when quite literally you put yourself in that position. So that's a little frustrating on both ends that we're not able to really see him because I think he got open a lot. But at the same time, too, you kind of have to take what's given to you. You're a 6th-round pick, and you've kind of done this to yourself the entire career. So that's what I'll say. But like I said, I really would not expect to see him the rest of the season. And I think at this point they view Jalen Reagor as a guy that they like over Keishawn Boutte. Hmm. Neil says, "Do I think that we can go 5-5 by the bye week?" Well, Neil, let's bring up the rest of the schedule. Where is it? Here it is. So this is the Patriots schedule for the rest of the season. So we're already we're getting just about halfway through the season already, which is absolutely absurd. But just finished against Buffalo. Next week, you're at Miami. I still don't think the Patriots are going to be able to win this game. They're one of the hottest teams in football right now. And unless they're dealing with key injuries again, I think that the Patriots are not going to be able to come out that win, especially because that's also at Miami. New England can't play at Miami. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the weather or there's a curse, but the Patriots can absolutely not win a game in Miami. And let's remember, they had Jalen Phillips, their star defensive lineman, out in week 2. They also had their star tackle out in week 2. Those guys are probably going to be back for this game, if I am correct. So that's 2 kind of areas in which the Patriots will not be able to get away with. They're not going to get a gift from God there yet again. But the Patriots also lost a key player from that week 2 game, and that's Christian Gonzalez, who shut down Tyreek Hill. You don't have that guy anymore who's going to be able to just go one-on-one and be able to shut him down. So, even if you want to double or triple team Tyreek Hill, well, how the heck are you going to cover Jalen Waddle? How are you going to cover Braxton Berrios at this point? So I still have to say that this upcoming game against Miami is going to be an L. Versus Washington, I think that's a very, very winnable game for the Patriots. And then I do think that against Indianapolis, that is a winnable game too. Now, we do know, and I tweeted out about this last week, that rookie quarterback for the Colts in Anthony Richardson is not going to be playing in this game. He's on IR, and he's honestly not expected to play the rest of the season. That means Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback. Quite honestly, if you ask me, I would have rather played against Anthony Richardson than Gardner Minshew, just because Gardner Minshew is at this point a poised veteran in the NFL. He's played with the Eagles. He's played with the Jags as a starting quarterback. Now he is with the Colts. Like, he's a journeyman quarterback. He is Fitzmagic. He is the new age Fitzmagic in my mind. So with that being said, I think that any given week, Indianapolis could win the game. Any given week, the Indianapolis Colts could lose a game. But I definitely think that's a game that the Patriots are in. Again, so looking at the next few weeks leading up to the bye week, I don't think that they really have a shot against Miami, but I think against Washington and Indianapolis, I think those are both games that the Patriots very much could win. So that would put them at what, 2? No, that would put them, let me see, right now we're 2-5. So if they win this, it would be 4-5. So yeah, I don't think they go on this like winning streak heading up into the bye week. Kind of heading out of the bye week against the Giants, that's a game the Patriots very well could win too. The Chargers game, you got to lean towards the Chargers, but the Patriots always have the Chargers number, especially if they can start kind of stringing games together here. That's the game the Patriots very well could win, especially at home. Pittsburgh not playing good football either. Kansas City, I think, is a team that is beatable, but I'll still say that the Patriots lose that game. Denver is a game that they could win also. As long as they shut down Denver's offense and Russell Wilson, that's an easy game for them to win. At Buffalo, I'm going to say they lose that game. You got to give Buffalo at least one of these. And then against the Jets, it could be a close game, but I'm going to say that they win that game also. So I definitely think that this team isn't going to finish with just 5 wins. I think that if they can string some games together like they did today and play how they did today, then I'm confident in their ability to win some more of these games going forward. But if they play how they did against New Orleans, or they play how they did against Dallas, against some of these teams, then yeah, like you're just not going to win. You're not going to win any games playing how they did against Dallas or New Orleans. But let me get back up on the screen here with you guys. Answer some more questions here. What did I think of JC? So we still haven't seen the old JC Jackson. So that's something I will say. We haven't seen the old JC Jackson yet. He's not a ball hawk. He's playing a lot more shut down than I think we're all used to seeing, but it's not like JC Island, right? Like it's not JC Jackson on an island by himself shutting a receiver down. He is getting help over the top a lot of the times, but I thought he's played very well. I think today that pass breakup he had against Stephon Diggs in the end zone, I thought that was an excellent play. And I know some people want to say that was holding by JC, but it wasn't. If you look at it, Diggs and JC going back and forth with their hands to each other, like you can't call that if you're a ref on either side. So I thought that was a great pass breakup by him in the end zone. He's still a little inconsistent. I think he's a little inconsistent letting up some plays, but more specifically those penalties. I think that too many times we see JC Jackson giving up big plays, not because he doesn't have the leverage or because he has bad mechanics, but it's because he just has to play a little bit less of a sloppy game. I think if he can just get rid of those penalties, then he definitely looks a lot better. But I've been very happy with what I've seen from him through 2 weeks now. I thought that he's looked really, really good with a guy that's kind of just gotten thrown into the fire when the season already started. So I would definitely be interested to see if they keep him next year, how JC and Gonzo would play opposite sides of each other. I think that would be really exciting. Make sure the stream's good. While you guys are in here too, we got about 77 of you guys in here today. Make sure you guys do leave a big like on the video because it really, really, really helps out the channel. So it would mean the world to me if all of you guys real quick could just leave a like on the video. We have about 42 total likes right now. So if everyone can just do that, we'll get that number even higher. Do you think that they will stick with Onwenu at right tackle? I think you have to. I think what we saw today was the Patriots' best offensive line yet, and it's almost like that's something I've been saying all season long. It only took through 7 weeks for them to do exactly what I said they needed to do. And I know that there's been injuries, but it all starts with putting Onwenu at right tackle, and he's been healthy enough for you to be able to put him there. I don't know how many games you had to put Vidarian Lowe at right tackle. I don't know how many times he had to completely be a revolving door to show you that he wasn't the answer. I'm sorry, but I think if you put Mike Onwenu over at right tackle earlier, the Patriots have at least one of these games as a win. I think last week they win that game if Max Crosby isn't totally up the butt of Mac Jones the entire game. Let's remember too that Vidarian Lowe on that final play is essentially what allowed that safety for Max Crosby that ended that game and sealed that game for the Raiders in week 6. So I think the Patriots will continue to roll with him, but I think they have to continue to roll with him. Vidarian Lowe allowing the most pressures out of any offensive lineman through 6 weeks. You can't have him back, right? And as soon as we saw him back for Trent Brown, it seemed like the left side of the Patriots offensive line started to go to hell a little bit, right? Mac Jones started to get pressured a lot quicker. If Vidarian Lowe is on the field, it's kind of to me like it was in 2019 when Marshall Newhouse was the Patriots starting left tackle. It's like that same thing with Vidarian Lowe. So you got to hope that Trent Brown isn't injured, that he can stay healthy. But I think your best offensive line from left to right is Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, City So, and then Michael Onwenu. I thought when that was your line, it was at least feasible. And we saw how much of a significant difference it made offensively. Let's see. Ooh, some of your takes. Let's see this. We're definitely beating the Commanders, Indianapolis, Giants, Chargers, Steelers, and the Chiefs. So I wouldn't say that. I would say you can't with this team until they show us that they can consistently play this way, and they still even need to play better. You can't say that any game is a given game. But you should win against the Commanders. You should win against the Colts. You should win against the Chargers, or excuse me, against the Giants. The Chargers is up there. The Steelers will be up there. And then the Chiefs, I still have to give that a loss. I think they'll be in that game, but that's a very high-powered offense, and Andy Reid is the best coach in football right now. I just think you have to be in the house when it comes to Miami. You just need to go to Florida, bring some of that Pats Nation love, and represent them, and then we'll win. I'll be in Florida next week, but I won't be at that Miami game. I'll be on vacation. So, what I will say is that although I'll be a little bit closer than I am now, it's still going to be too far for me to go to that game. But no, let me tell you, I don't think I'd want to go to that game. Watch it be a great game now. Watch it be a great game I wish I was at. But no, they never play good against Miami in Miami. Ooh, should we talk about tanking and Caleb Williams? Oh, dear Lord. Let me see, what comment should I put up here? My boy Ray. And by the way, I know Ray, I know you're not saying like that we should draft Caleb Williams, but I know that everybody has been thinking about that over the last couple of weeks. So I understand why you would still want a quarterback in the draft. What I will say, and nothing is confirmed, but what I will say is that I'm hearing that the Patriots are likely to still roll with Mac Jones in 2024. Now, does that mean they're going to draft a quarterback or not? We don't know. They could still take a quarterback in the first round and still roll with Mac Jones next year. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but we also know that Robert Kraft is a big Mac Jones guy. So we know that he's not going to force Belichick to trade him off or do anything of those sorts. So with that being said, there's definitely a chance in which Mac Jones is still your starting quarterback next year. Maybe they don't pick up that fifth-year option, but they they build around him next year and see what he actually is before making any type of move. I don't know. I personally think that this is such a good quarterback class that you have to take a quarterback, at least in some capacity. I'm just not a believer that they're going to be in a position to draft Caleb Williams, who I don't want anyway, because I think he's kind of a diva at this point. That diva mentality between him having teams that he will play for, and if you're not on that list, he won't play for you. And then also wanting ownership of any team that he is drafted to. Like, dude, you haven't played a snap in the NFL. Prove yourself before you start making any demands, okay? Baker Mayfield thought that he was the next coming of like Tom Brady, and look at him now. So let's slow our roll here a little bit. And the Patriots won't have the first overall draft pick. Next up, Drake May. I like him better than Caleb Williams for the Patriots, but he's likely to go second overall. I don't think the Patriots will be in a position to have the second overall pick or even a top 3 pick personally. So I'm going to say that that's unlikely too. So I think they're looking at, if you want a quarterback in the first round still, then you're looking at maybe a Bo Nix. You're looking at maybe a Michael Penix or something of those sorts. Some of these other guys that are expected to go in the first round, but aren't expected to go top 3 overall. So I don't buy it. I don't believe in this whole tanking situation. I never believed the Patriots were going to tank. I know some people thought that they were intentionally tanking. I don't believe that. I do believe that the Patriots were trying to win games. As bad as it seemed, I do believe that the Patriots were trying to win games and it just was not working out for them. But they finally are in a position where maybe, just maybe, they can start winning a couple of games going forward. I always thought that even when the Patriots were looking bad over the last few weeks, that they were probably going to finish middle of the pack, right? Like they were going to finish between 6 to like 8 wins, and they weren't going to be in a position to get Drake May or Caleb Williams or have a top draft pick, but they weren't going to be good enough to end up pushing themselves into the playoffs either. So it's kind of hell, right? Like it's like purgatory essentially, where you're like, well, we're not a good enough team to make the postseason, but we're not bad enough to have a fun draft pick. So in God's name am I supposed to do now? But at the end of the day, for me personally, what I want to see the Patriots do is start like building for next year. You want to see players want to play here. You want to see these guys having fun. You want to see them stringing games together. For me, if they don't make the postseason, that's okay. At this point, I'm not expecting it. But what I would like to see is them do something like the Lions did, right? They started stringing games together the second half of the season. They started looking like a good team, and they were able to carry that into the following season in order to start competing for the postseason. Right now, before today, the Lions were 5-1. Now they got blown out today, and they're 5-2. But that's still a very, very good season, especially for the Lions. If the Patriots can kind of string the second half of the season the way they did, and then build this offseason with at least a middle of the pack draft pick, and maybe they sell a couple of pieces off at the trade deadline, get some more draft capital, and then they'll have the most money to spend in free agency. You put that mostly into the offense, and now you're looking like a day and night team that was able to actually build some morale and string together an actual team that wants to fight for each other on a game-to-game basis. And I think that this team looks like they have a fighting chance in 2024. It doesn't just come down to the talent on your team, but it comes down to morale and your drive to want to be good and have fun and play actual football for the guys next to you. And I think that that's been an issue just as much as it has been with talent, is that guys don't seem like they want to be here. Ship off Devontae Parker, get him away. Doesn't seem like he cares. Doesn't seem like he wants to be here. Anyone that isn't showing that drive and that fight, and anyone that is straining together to play as a unit, get them out of here. But guys that are able to play as a unit and are working together, those are the types of guys that you want to even have on this team for 2024, because I do believe that a a a team with star players, but they don't play as a unit and they have low morale, I believe that they can look like a much worse team versus a team that doesn't have a lot of star players, but they play as a unit and they work well and they play very coherently together. I think that type of team can play and be more successful than a team with a bunch of star players that don't play together and they don't play for the team. So that's what I'd like to see the Patriots kind of do here for this second half of the season, even though we're not completely at the halfway mark yet. Why isn't Marte Mapu playing more? So, quite honestly, like I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm going to assume that they're just not comfortable with what they're seeing in practice to be able to throw him out. But from what he was able to do in mini camp and training camp, and just all the things that we were able to see from him this offseason, and he was rolling with the starters like very early on in the offseason, and it stayed that way. And now he's not really getting any looks and any opportunity. I don't like it. I don't understand it. Maybe because when they thrusted him into the starting defense early on in the season, there was a lot of penalties. And maybe they just said, you know what? This is just a lot of rookie moments you're showing us that make you more of a liability on the team than you are actually going to help us. That is the best thing that I could possibly come to mind with. Because although Marte Mapu does have a role on this team, I think that they're able to play someone like Adrian Phillips in that same type of role and say, you know what, he's not going to make the same boneheaded rookie mistakes that Mapu would. But I do think that Mapu is faster and that he's going to make rookie mistakes, but you kind of have to throw him out into the fire to learn a little bit. So I don't agree with what they're doing, but I'm going to assume it's kind of like a Keyshawn Booty type of situation where because you're making some rookie boneheaded mistakes, you're not going to be thrown out there until you show me that you deserve to be. So this just might be one of those seasons where we really don't get to see Marte Mapu a whole lot. But I'm really, really hoping that this isn't one of those situations where we see promise from a guy, they never put him onto the field, and then he's labeled as a bust when he was just never given the opportunity to play. Like Ronnie Perkins. And now Ronnie Perkins did deal with a lot of injuries, but he was also never given the opportunity to actually like be on the field. And because of that, we labeled him as a bust, but we never could really say he's truly a bust because he never really got that opportunity either. Answer a couple more questions here. Agreed. Honestly, trade Parker. Don't understand why we gave him the extension. Hasn't been worth the money. So I thought it was a little bit high in terms of the money that he was given at the time, but I will say that I did like the move overall for the Patriots to give him that extension. Let me see if I can pull up that contract here to see what it would look like if the Patriots got rid of him. So he is signed through 2025. So he'll be a free agent in 2026. If the Patriots cut him pre-June 1st, so they can't. So the Patriots can't just cut him pre-June 1st. If they cut him pre-June 1st, it's $6.3 million in dead with $200,000 in cap savings. If they cut him post-June 1st, it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They put on 4.7 in dead and 1.8 in available cap. Now, if they trade him, it still doesn't really do a whole lot. They will take on a cap hit a dead cap hit of $3.1 million, and they'll free up about $3.4 million. If they trade him post June 1st, they'll take on a dead cap hit of about $1.5 million, and they'll free up about $5 million. So their best case scenario is that they would have to trade him, not release him, but they would have to trade him after June 1st, which means after the draft, after free agency. And is that something they would do? I'm not 100% sure. So I feel like they're kind of stuck with him this year, but next year, after 2024, it's the same thing with Juju, where they kind of have to roll with them through 2024, but they can get out of those contracts after 2024 if they do wish. See if we can get one more in here. Try to find a good one to end off with. We will take a defensive tackle out of East Tennessee State Community College. Reagor looks better than Juju. I mean, like I will say is that Reagor is a speedster. Like he's more of a Tyquan Thornton type of player than he is like a Juju Smith-Schuster type of player. But I mean, yeah, I don't want to say he's producing more because I feel like maybe that was more of a him getting behind the coverage type of play today. He has been elevated the last, 3 or 4 weeks at this point, and this was his first reception. So I don't know if I would necessarily go that far, but I thought that he provided excellent blocks today, one of which was that 15, 20-yard play with Pop Douglas that sprung him for like 15 or 20, but that block came from Jalen Reagor. So I think Rager's doing excellent in terms of blocking ability, but let's remember that he's out of elevations now. Today was his last elevation. So if the Patriots want to have Reagor on their roster at all, they'll have to sign him to the 53 from this point on. But guys, I think we're going to end today's stream. It's been about an hour. We got winners and losers to make. We got a contract extension from Bill Belichick that we got to talk about too. So apologies, especially from me early on with some of these technical difficulties. Going to try to figure out to see what was going on there. But as always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys do like the video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news if you have not already. But as always, I do appreciate you guys for watching. And of course, never forget, go Pats.